President Almira Mangum held a Ban the Box rally last week at the FAMU College of Law. Good morning and welcome to News 20. I'm Beret Baker. Ban the Box is the name of an international campaign pushed by the National Employment Law Project as well as a number of other civil rights groups that has recently gained the support from President Barack Obama. The campaign seeks to persuade employers to remove the box on the application that asks applicants if they have a criminal record. President Almira held a rally in Orlando to voice her support. A number of speakers were present as well. Thousands of people showed up to a book symposium earlier this month in Tallahassee, waiting in line to get their book signed by presidential candidate Ben Carson. Carson, a former pediatric neurosurgeon and current GOP presidential candidate, made a stop in Florida's capital city to meet readers and fans of his latest book. He is currently on a tour for the book, A More Perfect Union, and plans to hit 38 cities. This stop in Tallahassee was clearly a success. The line to purchase the book mazed through 10 aisles of the bookstore and even made its way out the door and into the parking lot. While some Tallahassee residents came out to discuss the book, others came simply to back him in his race for candidacy. Leaving Tallahassee, Carson planned to advance his tour, heading south towards Tampa. According to the site bencarsonsbook.com, Carson has 7 more stops in Florida before ending in Boca Raton. We can wave goodbye to the Confederate flag on the seal marking the Florida Senate. Senate Democrat leader Arthenia Jones was successful in her efforts to have it removed. The seal can be found in the Senate chambers of Florida's Capitol, as well as on the Senate stationery. Replicas of the seal also appear throughout the Capitol. Joyner first suggested that the Confederate flag be removed shortly after the murder at the Charleston, South Carolina church back in June. Photos of the killer Dylan Roof holding the Confederate flag began circulating the internet, increasing the idea that the flag stood more for hate than heritage. The decision to remove the flag had to be made quickly so that designs for a new one could begin. It's important to have a seal that everyone can be proud of, so this was a big step in the right direction. The change to the seal became effective immediately. Local school DeSoto Trail Elementary recently received an award for their Healthy Schools initiative. Multimedia journalist Nicole Doty tells us more.
The Leon County Trailblazers have skyrocketed to the top. Recognized for their hard work and dedication towards improving school health, DeSoto Trail Elementary School is the first National Healthy Schools Gold Award winner in Florida. Principal Michelle Keltner explains the policy changes her school made towards becoming a healthier and more active school.
We work all across our campus to make sure we are as healthy as possible. We've limited the sugar candy snacks that we've had on campus. We try to offer more healthier snacks, fruits, vegetables, no more soft drinks or juices.
The award is given by the Alliance for a Healthier Generations Healthy Schools program.
Along with receiving the first National Healthy Schools Gold Award, DeSoto Trail is also a 2015 award recipient of Let's Move, a program developed by First Lady Michelle Obama to help solve the epidemic of child obesity within a generation.
Wellness coordinator and music teacher Randy Bias is honored to accept the award.
I made the commitment to my school, to my principal, and to the district that I was going to work as hard as I could to get the gold. And we worked a whole year on the different items that we needed, and we made it. So it was very exciting to receive the award.
DeSoto Trail Elementary hopes to raise enough money for a bike trail designed for the students. For News 20 at 5, I'm Nicole Doty.
Well, congratulations to those Trailblazers. We can expect to hear more great stories from them in the future. A fatal stabbing in a Tallahassee apartment complex has left many residents shocked. The Tallahassee Police Department identified the victim, 24-year-old Anton Spence. Spence was found stabbed to death at Villa del Lago Apartments, a fairly new complex on West Pensacola Street. This stabbing makes the second case of violence in the development this year. The first being 3 males shot in January following a dispute in the parking lot. Hearing stories like this has left residents of Villa del Lago concerned for their safety. A suspect has yet to be taken into custody, and investigators are asking anyone with information about the case to please contact them at 850-891-4200 or to call Crime Stoppers at 850-571-TIPS. We'll be back with more news after the break.
Florida A&M University students have explored international cultures while discovering what they can become.
From Hong Kong working as a camp counselor to the Dominican Republic for the Study Abroad program, I discovered my passion for international studies. As Miss FAMU, the university has prepared me to represent my institution in the global market.
Discover what you can become.
Descubrir lo que puede llegar a ser.
Yeah, what she said. For more information about our Study Abroad program, visit discoverfamu.com.
Welcome back to News 20. I'm Brea Baker. This month in Massachusetts, the trial begins for a teen facing murder charges. Back in October of 2013, 14-year-old student Philip Chisholm beat, raped, and murdered his teacher, Colleen Ritzer. Ritzer had asked Chisholm, one of her 9th grade algebra students, to stay after school. Hours later, the body of the teacher, who was very popular on campus, was found, abandoned in woods nearby, covered with dirt and leaves. Authorities reported apparent signs that she had been raped and that a box cutter was used to slit her throat. An original confession from Chisholm stating that after being insulted, quote, he became the teacher, will not be mentioned in the trial to be used against him. The trial will be held at Essex Supreme Court in Salem. The Black students of Missouri University have found themselves in a fight for equality on campus and have gained support from their college campuses around the nation. For years, race-related issues have occurred on the campus, but it was the president's failure to address complaints that drove these students over the edge. Hunger strikes, protests, walkouts, and a boycott of sports activities by the football team have all taken place. These daring acts ultimately led to the resignation of the university's president. Following his resignation, angry students posted death threats on various social media sites against the protesters, leaving many of them in fear of being on campus, let alone going to classes. And interim president Michael Middleton has been assigned with hopes to bring order back to the university. Earlier this month, Metrojet Flight 9268 crashed into the Egyptian desert, killing all 224 people on board. Officials from both the U.S. and Britain have speculations that the crash was caused by a bomb on board. Polo Sandoval reports.
Egyptian officials say there are no survivors after a Russian airliner crashed in the Sinai Peninsula with more than 200 people on board. The plane, operated by a small Russian airline, Kogalim Avia, had taken off from the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt and was on its way to the Russian city of St. Petersburg. Officials lost contact with the plane over the Sinai Peninsula. It was flying at 31,000 feet at the time. Egyptian authorities have found the wreckage in the Hassana region of northern Sinai. It's thought all the passengers on board were Russian.
Anxious relatives waiting to hear news of loved ones at the airport in St. Petersburg. But the message from this Egyptian operations room set up to determine the cause of the crash is that it's far too soon to know what happened. 50 ambulances have been dispatched to the crash site to offer medical care for any survivors. A Russian team of investigators is now on its way. One report says the pilot of the Airbus A321 had asked to land early at El Arish Airport in northern Sinai. Experts who've tracked the flight say it seems to have lost height dramatically.
We could see that the flight took off from Sharm el-Sheikh and it was climbing quite normally, and after about 23 minutes it suddenly started to lose speed, and then it suddenly started to drop very fast, and after about 20 seconds we lost the signal from this aircraft.
The plane was carrying holidaymakers from Sharm el-Sheikh, a popular destination for Russian tourists in search of sun. There will inevitably be speculation about whether foul play was behind the crash, especially since the wreckage was found in an area where Egyptian forces are currently fighting an Islamic militant insurgency. back at St. Petersburg, an emergency support centre is being set up so that information about the 224 people on board can be conveyed as quickly as possible to the relatives. In the meantime, President Putin has declared Sunday an official day of mourning.
Attacks have been traced back to ISIS. Their connection to this one in particular, however, is still in question. Egyptian officials are investigating the exact cause of this tragedy. After the break, I'll be back with an update on sports. Stay tuned, you're watching News 20 at 5.
While the college experience is exciting and enjoyable, it can also be stressful. At the FAMU Office of Counseling Services, students find a committed group of licensed professionals ready to assist with a variety of academic and personal concerns. Our services include individual counseling, group counseling, and psychiatric consultation. Making an appointment is easy. You can choose a specific counselor, have one selected for you, or just walk in. For more information, call 850-599-3145. The FAMU Office of Counseling Services is located in Sunshine Manor, here to enhance your college experience from orientation to graduation.
Welcome back to News 20 at 5. I'm Brea Baker with your sports. The Florida A&M University football team will travel to Orlando this weekend to compete in the Florida Blue Florida Classic. This game, commonly referred to as the Classic, will host its state rivals, FAMU Rattlers and Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. The matchup will be the 36th time the teams have met in Orlando, dating the first Classic back to 1979. While the Rattlers have not won the Classic since 2010, they're confident that they'll be able to break the losing streak and claim victory. Kickoff will be Saturday, November 21st at 2:30 p.m. and will air on ESPN. As for the volleyball, the Lady Rattlers have struggled thus far, but have faith that they'll perform well in the postseason. Reporter Travis Milton tells us more.
The Florida A&M University Lady Rattlers volleyball team are still in search for their first victory on the season. Saturday, the Lady Rattlers faced the Lady Aggies of Texas A&M as they went 0 for 3 in a best-of-5 match. Head coach Tanio Trifanoff says that the team made a lot of errors, which ultimately costed them the game.
I think we made a lot of errors. I think that the talent level and the skill level is pretty much there with Texas A&M. We just made way too many errors in a row. Might have been because it's a new rotation again. We got some players injured. We haven't practiced. We have to make adjustments in the lineup. You can tell that the skills are there. It's just we're not making plays, and that's what it comes down to sometimes. And we're making a lot of unforced errors, and all those errors, they usually don't happen, but it's early in the season, so hopefully by conference play we'll start eliminating them. And then when you're playing against a good team and you're making consecutive errors, one after the other, then when you start playing rally after rally, sometimes you're going to lose some of those rallies.
The Rattlers have faced many teams ranked in the top 25 or better, so they feel that their level of play is there.
Even though Coach Trivanoff's Rattlers have struggled early on in the season, they still believe they're ready for a championship.
I think these top 25 teams, top 50 teams make us ready for conference. I think that this is getting us ready for a championship, and I think it's great that we're playing these teams. These teams have a lot of experience and have gone to NCAA and stuff like that, so I think it's really good for us and good for our competition level.
The Rattlers will enter conference play as they face the South Carolina State Lady Bulldogs on Friday. For News 20 at 5, I'm Travis Milton.
The MEAC Volleyball Championship will be held November 20th through November 22nd at the University of Maryland, Eastern Shores, and the Rattlers will be looking to return with some championship rings. We'll be back with more after the break. Stay tuned, you're watching News 20 at 5.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Welcome back to News 20 at 5. I'm Brea Baker. Sky Zone, a giant indoor and trampoline park, has opened up a new location here in Tallahassee. It is located on Monroe Street in the Planet Fitness Plaza and is open Tuesday through Sunday from 3 to 9. Sky Zone includes an open trampoline field, 2 basketball hoops, a dodgeball court, and an open pit filled with foam cubes, perfect for jumping and flipping. It has been referred to as the best thing to hit Tallahassee ever and is a fun activity for visitors of all ages. To learn more about this great attraction, visit skyzone.com/Tallahassee. Well, that's going to do it for us today. As always, don't forget to check out our website at FAMUTVnews.com for more story updates. And until the next time, this is FAMU TV News. I'm Bray Baker. Have a great evening.